You see, many youth think it's all about social media or about white collar jobs. They think maybe doing fish business is going to be a dirty work. No. In this business, by the grace of God, I've built a house. I've bought many cars. And as I said, I do it for 21 years. I never give up. So the business is very lucrative. All you need is to acquire the knowledge and stay in the business. Don't give up. Even though when there is challenges, don't say that maybe it's not good. No. The challenges will even make you more perfect. You can do fish business and be earning millions every month. It's possible. I don't wait for money at the end of the month. I wait for money every day. So I work harder in order for me to get more pay. So that's how it is. So don't give up. Don't think that it's a dirty job. No. In fact, if you have the knowledge of how to be a good hatcher in Nigeria, you're a millionaire. That is just the truth. If you're a good hatcher in Nigeria or you know how to rear table size, you make good money in the business. For those who are starting, you must be self-determined. Very important. Many people run into different business based on because somebody is doing it, because somebody is making money there. You understand? They run into it without them being ready for the business. So for you who want to start the business, as I said, get yourself ready, determined. Be sure that you want to do it. Then you make sure you have the capital. Don't go and borrow to start the business. Let me use that word.
Yeah.
Fine, some can borrow, but it's not easy when you are starting. It's when you have grown, the business survive. That this you've practicalized this is where that you can borrow to run it, and you get asked based on the expert advice.
Yeah.
You understand? So then when you have the knowledge, don't just do it because, as I said, somebody's doing it. So you know the knowledge of how to do it before doing it. So when you have the knowledge, it will help you to know what is coming up. You understand? So that is the knowledge is the key. Then you have to go to where they do the practical. Don't just correct the theory, buy paper, buy books, online, and think you know it all. No.
Okay.
You understand? Practical is very important.
Skill.
So get the skill, the technical know-how on how to do it. Then you can train some people around you so that you can keep the record going. So very important.
Okay. That's amazing.
Because sometimes people have the capital, but they don't have the technical know-how. So your capital cannot run the business. So you still need the both together. Your capital and the technical know-how. You need to value those who have the knowledge so that to help your business to thrive.
Okay. Will you believe if I told you that I was sitting right now in a farm? Actually, a fish farm. Good day, I'm Ayon, and welcome to AGRICDECK. On today's episode, we're going to be discussing with a fish farmer. He's actually hatching catfish and producing grout with over 21 years experience in the industry.
My name is Oluwatosin Oke. I'm an expert in fish production. And then our farm is called Divine Gates Fish Farm.
Divine Gate Fish
Farm in Ikon.
Okay.
Where we have grow out fish and also a hatchery where we do artificial insemination and also do training here.
Okay, that's amazing. So, did you study agriculture?
I studied fishery. Here in University of Ekiti.
Okay.
Yes. So after then, I've been moving from one farm to another. I actually specialize more on hatchery. Yes, because it's the very critical area for farmers that you don't really, if you are not good, if you are not patient, you cannot do it. So I decided to put all my energy on hatchery. So
okay, that's amazing. That's why today we are going to talk more on hatchery. So I'm a big beginner. I want to start hatching of catfish.
Yes.
What are the things I need to do and what is the process like?
Yeah, thank you very much. If you are actually coming to fish industry and you want to start with hatchery, it's a very taxing. What I mean by taxing is that it needs your time and energy and your resources. Because and you must be determined that truly you want to do it, because it will come with different challenges.
Okay.
It's not going to be easy. And one of the things that you actually need is your availability, you're available, then your resources, then you get the facilities ready, and then you got the knowledge.
Okay.
So what I mean by the knowledge is you have to have the feasibility study of what you want to do.
Okay.
You go through the practical, and then you go through the theory. So altogether from a professional who knows what he's doing, who knows everything about the business. Now, let me even tell you, there's nobody that can know everything about the business. Everybody, we are learning every day.
It's a learning process.
You understand? So, but somebody who knows what he or she is doing and who has had the experience over the years. And that's why I can boldly tell you that anything about fish hatchery, by the grace of God, I can produce millions.
Okay.
So, if you have the knowledge, then you just to get some facilities ready. You need a water, a running water. You understand? Whether you have a plastic pond or you have your concrete ponds, you understand? And then we decide how you can run what we call flow through. Because we have different type of system that we're using doing this fish production. We have flow through system, we have recirculatory system. So after you have gotten the knowledge on on what to do, because then you'll be going to ask to buy some materials that you're going to use to hatch the fish. And when you get those materials which require the parent stock, as a beginner, when you get the parent stock, you get male and female. Then you must get a ripe male and female, the one that is mature, that is up to a year and above. You understand? That is the one that can be used for artificial insemination, and not just for a year and above. It must carry the contents. You understand? Because it's not all the fish that's a year and above that can be used for hatching. So it must have the requirements. You understand? So that means you are getting a right broodstock fish that is trained for parent stock. You understand? Some fish might be 3 years and not useful. You understand? Based on the food they are eating. So what they eat will also help their reproductive system to give you what you want. So if you get the parent stock, then you set your incubator ready. You understand? Then you are going to inject your female fish. That is the process. As when you are starting the hatchery now, you get your female fish, you inject the female with hormone. We have different type of hormone. We have gonadotrophin. That is the one we remove from the mature fish from their skull. We call it gonada. When you remove it, you used to inject the female with normal saline, or we use another hormone that they sell in the market, which is ovaprim or ovulin. So we give 0.5 to 0.6 mil to a kg of fish. So after that, you keep the fish inside water for like 9 to 11 hours. Depends on the temperatures. So once that time is up to that period, or before the time, before 11 hours or 10 hours, you'll see a sign that the fish will release some eggs inside the water. That shows that the fish is ready to drop the eggs. And before you inject the fish, there are some things you are going to check from the body of the female that will make you to know that this female is really good. What we do is that we check the genital papilla of the female. We press with our thumbs. We discover some eggs will come out from the fish. And once the egg is out, you check it. So the eggs will come with different colors. There are some eggs will come with brown eggs, some green eggs, some deep green, you understand, some lights. You understand? So then when you look deeply to the eggs, there's something we call micropel. The eggs has a dot, like a hole at the body of the eggs. That is somehow reddish or brownish, like a point at the body of the head. That is what we call micropel. So this microspell is what will receive the sperm of the male fish for it to be fertilized. Yes. So if the fish does not have the micropel, you understand, or you discover the eggs are white, then that means that it cannot be viable, it cannot be hatched, it cannot give you what you want. So it must have that micropel and big in size. You understand? That shows that the egg is viable. Then you can use it. So after you inject it.
And what color is a good egg?
The best color is brown egg.
Brown egg?
Brown egg, yes.
And then green egg?
Green egg is also good, but the best one is brown.
Brown egg.
Brown eggs, you understand? So then after you've injected the fish for between 9 to 11 hours, the fish should, we call it pre-spawning. The egg stomachs, the female stomach will come up like a pregnant woman. So it becomes swelling up because of the hormone. The hormone will we call it pre-spawning, will make the fish to rehatch the eggs, you understand? To make it soft, to release, you understand? So once the eggs is out, you get your plastic rubber, you understand? Dry, clean, you understand? Then by that time your male is ready, the male you want to use. And that male is going to be sacrificed or you operate it.
So is there no way of using the male without it being sacrificed or killed?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, we do operate the male by open the stomach of the male and remove the testicles. After removing the semen, we stitch it back and the fish will still be alive.
Okay, but are people doing that?
I've done that several times. I have the pictures on my phone. So it's only farmers that have experience that can do that surgical stuff. You understand? It's not everybody that knows how to do that.
Okay.
Most people just kill it and then, you know.
Are there some ways you will be able to look at the male fish and identify and say this is good?
Thank you very much. Yeah, for the male, first of all, you must be sure that the fish is up to a year. That's number one criteria for you to know. Then secondly, the male will come with a rough skull. The skull will not be smooth, will not be slippery, it will be rough. One. Number two, the male has a dry body than the female.
Okay.
The female have a pot body, where the male has a dry stomach. Are you get what I'm saying now? Then from the penis of the male, the top of it always come swelling and then reddish at the top. That shows that the male is okay.
Okay.
But not 100%.
Okay.
With that criteria, you understand? Not 100% result.
At least that is the first step.
What's the first step for you to be able to know that this will give you what you want? So it's after you now open, you understand? Then you now get what is inside. But it's easier to identify female than male. You understand? When it comes to viability, the quality, because you can easily press the stomach of the female and the eggs will come out and you can see what is there. Sometimes we use microscope, you understand, to detect the quality of the eggs and the quality of the sperm. After you have removed the sperm, then the female that has already has a pot belly and it will drop some eggs inside the bowl, inside the water. Once the egg is out, you prepare the plastic bowl, then we call it stripping. You have a towel. The stripper, the person who is going to hold the head of the fish, we call it the stripper. So it's going to hold the head of the fish and a partner will hold the tail of the fish. Then you begin to strip the eggs from the stomach of the fish. The eggs will be coming out freely into the plastic bowl. And in that process, you must be very careful that water and blood does not get in touch with the eggs.
Okay.
You understand? So once you get that done, you will not strip out the whole egg because it will get to a process that blood will be coming out when you overpress. So once you discover that blood wants to be coming out, you stop. And once you stop, you check the eggs very well. Once the egg is okay, you just take the sperm and use razor blade to cut the white part of the sperm. So when you cut it, you squeeze it on the eggs. You pour normal saline.
Okay.
Once you mix with normal saline, intravenous injection 0.9, you mix it together or salt solution. So once you prepare that, you mix it together within 60 seconds, everything will connect. Then the eggs will be, once the eggs microperm receive the sperm, it will increase in size, it become thick together, to be gummy, because of the strength of the sperm. These eggs will swell up and then become thick together. They become stick together, and that shows that the eggs are ready for, we call it, as that process, we call it ashling. Ashling, because the process has begun. Then you now move it to your incubator where you have your kakaban or mosquito nets that have been laying on top of water. Then you now spread the eggs on it within 2 minutes, you know, we've mixed together. Then you pour enough normal saline to mix it, to dilute it very well. Then
so what's the purpose of that saline you have?
The purpose of the saline is to activate the sperm.
Okay.
You understand? Once water, you understand, or salt solution touch the sperm become live. And the longevity of the sperm is 60 seconds, 1 minute.
Really?
Yeah, it's to die.
Okay.
So if it's not have access with water, if it's just being kept somewhere, it can be there for like 24 hours before it get bad.
Okay.
So after 24 hours, it will die.
Okay.
So that is how it is. So when you mix that, you spread it on the kakaban, then you have faith that what you've done, that God will bless it. And within 18 hours, the hatch process was begun under a good temperature of 28 Celsius degree.
58
Celsius degree, yes.
Okay.
The larvae will begin to drop from 18 hours to 24 hours. They'll begin to drop to the bottom of the ponds, and that is when the process began. And then you will leave it for some more hours, at least 24 hours to 30 hours, for more of them to drop. So by the time they have dropped, there's going to be some dead eggs, which are white eggs, that will remain on the kakaban. So that will be removed in order not to pollute the water. So after you remove the kakaban, then you wash the remaining one away. So the live one will be at the bottom. They will hide, look for a place to hide. Then your flow through system continue 24 hours.
Okay, you just produce. What at that stage? What are they called?
At that stage, now they become larvas.
They become larvae.
After they have hatched.
Okay.
In the process of mixing them together, when they started hatching, we call it hatchery. But after they have dropped, we call it larvas.
Okay, the larvae, do they feed at that stage?
They don't feed at that stage.
Okay.
You take them after 3 days, 3 to 4 days. That's when they begin to eat food.
3 to 4 days.
Yes.
They eat food directly from you, or what?
Yeah, we give them food. We have dry feed. We have atemia. We have zopam, daphne. You understand, that we normally give to them.
In the wild, how do they produce?
Yeah, in the wild we call it natural production. You understand?
Just natural production.
Yes, natural production, where the female will lay the eggs and the male will drop the sperm on it.
Okay, and what is the difference now between that hatching and?
Thank you very much. You see, in natural, they produce on their home, and they have a lot of resistance, and then cannibalism in the wild. You understand? Predators that attack their children. You understand? But in artificial insemination, which we do here, where we have to get the 2 parent stock and bring them to production in our hatchery, whereby we have to induce the female and then get the sperm of the male. That's what we call it, artificial insemination. Okay. And why is it that the fish does not even produce in natural environments here? Where we rear in the farm here. Why in the pond where I keep fish, why can't they reproduce there? The reason why they cannot reproduce, we call it stimulation of ovulations, because they are in captivity. You understand? They are under control. You understand? So that's why they cannot reproduce. And for you to have them to reproduce is by you induce the female and then do artificial insemination. And another way for you to have a fish that can reproduce is to keep them in a natural eating pond for a long time without disturbing them. They can produce over there.
Okay, and with this hatching,
yes,
after you got the larvae,
yeah,
and you produce the first one, the fries, right?
Yes.
Like what quantity of?
Yes, thank you very much. Like it depends on the size of the female and the quantity of the eggs that come out from the female, and also the maintenance of the hatcher. You understand? The technical handling that determine the quantity you can get from there. So assuming you just got, maybe let us mean one female fish can give you up to like from 5,000 larvae and above. There are some that can give you 30,000, 40,000, 50,000, depends on the grams of the eggs.
Okay, if that was done in the wild,
yes,
is that the same or almost the same quantity they will produce?
Yes, in the wild they can produce as much as possible, but the problem there is that as soon as they produce, other animals in the rivers come to eat their children.
Yeah.
So that is why here we can as well as get as much as possible as we want, because it's under control.
When they are fries, is there an ideal condition where they need to be?
Yeah, yes, once they are fried, we still maintain 28, you understand, to 30 Celsius degree in the hatchery. In fact, the most period of that temperature is the process, the 24 hours when they want to hatch. That's why they need a balanced temperature.
Okay.
You understand? After they've hatched and they already become larvas, then it's possible for the temperature to drop and comes up and goes up. You understand? So, but what really matters for you to have a good hatching, you must have a good temperature for them to hatch. Because if the weather is cold, it will affect them from hatching.
Okay.
From the fry stage, they will move from like 2 to 3 weeks, you understand, before they become post-fry.
Post-fries.
Yes, from 3 weeks to 4 weeks, they become fingerlings.
Okay.
From fingerlings to from 4 weeks to 6 weeks, they become post-fingerlings.
Okay.
Then from 6 weeks to 8 weeks to 9 weeks, they become juvenile.
Okay.
Yes. So, and that is what farmers will come and buy, you understand, and stock and ready them to become the size they want.
Okay. At this stage,
Yeah.
is there anything like sorting?
Yeah, thank you very much. In the process, as they are growing from the 3 weeks, you begin to experience some shooters. You understand? You have to be doing some sorting from different sizes, you know, either 2 different sizes or 3 different sizes to separate their sizes because of cannibalism. Because if you don't do proper sortings, they will begin to eat themselves because the fish are very carnivorous.
So they are born naturally
Natural to
cannibals.
cannibalize. So then it's good to, that's one of the technical aspects of the breeder, to always separate the sizes. And then, you know, that will help them to grow. And then you have to be very careful of the overstocking, because as they are growing, they will demand more space. So that means that you need to space in them. You need to know the quantity of fish that can be in a particular pond.
Okay, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Speaking of feeding,
Yeah.
in the hatching or the fries, fingerling, that stages, right?
Yes. Yes.
How do you maintain the quality of their feed?
Thank you very much. This is a very technical aspect of hatchery that it's not everybody that can really get it right. Only experimenter, the one who has been experimenting it, have been doing it for many years, can easily get it right that way. You see, I have a fish data that I use for the quantity of fish, the feed given to each of the ponds in my hatchery. I do give them in grams. Assuming I have like 10,000 fry in my pond, I will give it to my staff that from 8 a.m. you will give 5 grams. Are you getting what I'm saying now? The once is 12 noon, you give 5 grams. Once is 5 p.m. in the evening, you give 4 grams. That is how I do my shots. Then they maintain that shot. Now, as the fish are growing up, maybe the next 3 days, it might be increased because as they are growing. Are you getting what I'm saying now? Then sometimes we don't just give them the feed based on the shot that we have on ground. We give them the feed based on their performance, their behaviors, their response. You understand? So, because there are times that you need to work on them, that you don't need to give them food. You suspend the feeding. They will miss that period. Then for you to be able to carry out, maybe you want to wash the ponds, because every 4 days we wash the ponds where they hatch. We need to remove the fungi and the slimy diseases inside the ponds. You understand? So we wash it out. You understand? Take them to another pond or put them back into the same ponds. So they need clean environment 24 hours. That's help them to grow better. So by getting that measurement of that feeding, you must be very careful. Don't just say because you have been given a shot, giving 5 grams, you just go there and give 5 grams, then you are run into trouble. You must be able to observe and check the performance of the larvas, if they want to eat or not, if there is a change in weather or not. You understand? That is why it has to be based on experience. You understand? So, and information at the same time. So that you must be able to be a good observant that can easily design, that can easily determine, oh, these things are doing fine, they need the food. Maybe even that if I ask to give 5 grams, maybe the feed even need 4 grams. You should be able to give 4 grams. You understand? But at least I'll give you a minimum of 5 grams. You understand? And at a time they even need more than 5 grams if they need 7 grams. But it's good to feed lesser than to overfeeding. Okay. Because if you overfeed the fish, everything may die.
Okay.
So overfeeding is very dangerous to larvas.
Okay. That's amazing. Dear viewers, you are learning a lot from the hatchery master. Please watch this video to the end. Leave your comment so we produce better content like this.
God bless you.
My brother, are there some diseases that are peculiar to catfish hatching?
Thank you very much. We have many diseases. One of the things that do cause disease in fish production is stress. Stress.
Okay.
Once the fish pass through stress, then infection will come up. And at the same time, when the environment is not conducive, that is when these infections will come up. So at every point in time, we always love to make sure we put every place in order so that we will not have any problem. So we have slimy diseases, we have bacteria, we have fungi. You know, those are the easy infections that come from concrete ponds or plastic ponds based on the waste, you know, the when the water is being stagnant for a long times. So those infections come up from the water. So in order to avoid those infections is to always clean the pond. As I said, we make it a practical way that every 4 days we clean our ponds to avoid those infections to come up.
Okay.
Yes, and if peradventure there is a disease in the ponds, there are different ways that we can easily know based, as I said, the behaviors of the fish and their body movement, their skin. You can easily detect some disease from their body, and which you can carry out treatment if there is need for that. But there is something I love doing. I don't love treating my fish. So what I love doing is I prevent it not to happen. Because there are some cases that you try treating your fish that they will not even hear the treatment. So the best thing is you prevent it not to happen. How do you prevent it? Stay away from dirty environments. Don't stress the fish. Know what to do at the right time. You understand? So those are the most very important ways to handle the fish. If you don't want them to have diseases or infections or whatever, so it's to make sure that environment is clean.
That's amazing. Speaking of the catfish itself, are there some challenges you currently face as a catfish farmer or as a hatcher particularly?
Yeah, if we talk about challenges, there are different challenges, you know, starting from maybe water problem, maybe when there is not enough water. If you have short of water, maybe the water is not running well, and you have a quantity of fish in the ponds, that can make the fish to be stressed and you begin to have some mortalities. So another challenge is some adulterated feed that have been adulterated from the market that has infections. You understand? Then you bring them to your farm to feed your fish, then your fish begin to have problems too. Another challenge is workers that are not well trained. You understand? So they just want to do things based on their own, the way they think they should do it. So that can also bring problem to your production. So you need to have well-trained people who have the understand and know what to do at the right time. That will help you to have a good record of what you are doing. And at the same time, another challenge is maybe where you are running the system, water, cost of running the generator, and all that is part of the challenges that we do have. So, and before you embark in the business, you must make sure you put everything in order so that you will not have excuses for failure.
Okay. Speaking of management in catfish, how do you manage the fry so that you remain profitable and sustainable in the business?
Thank you very much. When talking about management in fry, your record is very important. You must make sure you have markets. Market is one of the key for you to thrive in fish hatchery. You must know how to get buyers. Very, very important. And once you do that, and you know you are ready for the business, don't fail your customers. Then the business cannot keep running.
Okay, that's amazing.
Then the business will sell itself once you are when you are producing good products. So, as I said, number one, you must produce good products. Number two, there must be consistency. Then number three, then let the markets, the good product will sell itself after People have come to buy. They will tell their friends, I bought my product from this farm. From there, you begin to export.
Okay, speaking of market
Yes.
for the fish,
Yes.
do you sell only in Ecom area, or you can send to different
We can
states
sell to different states. Like in my years past productions, I've sold to different states in Nigeria. I've moved over 100,000 to Katsina in particular 1 year. In one batch, we supply 80 to 100,000 juvenile to one of our sites in Katsina.
Okay.
You understand? With very big truck, you know. Then we supply to different states, Asaba, Enugu, Abakaliki, Delta. We move them everywhere. So there is a way we package them. So there is nowhere in Nigeria that we cannot transport the fish to.
Okay.
Even though I've transport fish from here to Benin Republic.
Okay.
Yes.
And it was safe when
It was safe. The mortality was 0.
Okay. That's impressive and quite amazing.
Yes.
So for our viewers out there
Yes.
who are interested in coming to you to make you a mentor,
Yeah.
training to start the hatching business and every other partnership on hatching and catfish business,
Yeah.
how can they get in touch with Mr. Tose?
070 32 10 6216. I call it again. 070 32 10 6216. Thank you.
Abana, you an authority
God bless
in
you.
the hatching business.
Yeah.
We know a lot of farmers globally look up to you, and we are very happy discussing with you, getting this impactful knowledge from you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you very much.
We truly appreciate it,
Nice meeting you, sir.
and we wish you the very best in your hatching business
Thank
and
you
every
very
other
much.
agricultural endeavor.
Thank you very
It's
much.
been a pleasure.
You're welcome, sir.
Dear viewers, you heard it all from the hatcher, the master himself. Thank you for watching. If you are new to our channel, kindly subscribe, hit the notification bell, like, comment, so you never miss an episode on agricultural matters. Until then, peace.